federal judge recently ruled that Google was operating an illegal monopoly by forcing its search engines on internet users. But that's just the first part of the case. The courts will now have to decide what punishment to hand down. Punishment to hand down in my mind is easy. Break the son of a bitches up, okay? They're just too big. It's almost laughable. You can't even, if you do a search on your telephone with Android, the first thing's gonna pop up is Google. It's almost like these other companies don't even exist. You know, Bing or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or Ecosia. It's like they don't exist, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Google has become obviously so popular over the last couple decades that Google something is now synonymous with search for it.
Yeah, you don't hear Bing something
right.
or DuckDuckGo something.
But what gets me about this, just to kind of break it down so people understand what's really at the heart of this monopoly case, is picture a movie theater. A movie theater can run whatever movie they want to run. But then you have a movie studio that goes to these theaters and says, hey, I'll pay you tens of millions of dollars if you only show movies from our studio.
Right.
So you're not going to show Disney movies, you're not going to show Universal, you're only going to show Warner Brothers movies. Mm-hmm. That's what Google essentially did according to this case here. They went to Apple, they went to Android, they went to, obviously the phones that they own, and they said, we will give you tens of millions of dollars to make Google your default search engine. Right. Yeah. That's what's.
Well, isn't that capitalism, though? I mean, isn't that? You hear the term "end of time capitalism." It almost sounds like the guy. It's the golden rule. Who has the gold? They're going to make all the rules, and that's what Google's been doing. An emerging company stands very little chance, and that's the whole policy, isn't it, behind antitrust and monopoly? To be able to say that there are variations of creativity at all levels. And when you have somebody like Google that dominates everything to where it's so bad that in Europe, I mean, they fined them almost $14 billion and said, you can't do this in the EU. You may not do this. We're not willing to do that in the US. Now, they even broke them up a little. They changed the way they did business. There was a bit of a breakup. It wasn't enough. And I think in the United States, we know how this is going to end up. Right. What's your guess?
Oh,
fine.
$500 million fine, maybe upwards of $1 billion if they're feeling antsy. But that's all that'll happen. It's the same thing that happened with Microsoft. A lot of people think, oh, well, remember the big Microsoft antitrust case and we broke them up?
Yeah.
No, you didn't pay attention to what happened next.
That's right.
Because Microsoft was never broken up. Even after that first judge found that, yes, this is an illegal monopoly. They're ruining everything. They're running everything. Break them up.
You know what the judge was reversed on? This was a powerful decision this judge made in the Microsoft case. It was critically important. Now, all of a sudden, he makes the decision. It's a 300-page order, well thought out. And they said, well, we're going to take it away from you, Judge, because you've been talking about Midas in the public. Now, this little thing I'm talking about is actually a big topic.
Yeah.
It's where the court system has gotten so dysfunctional that if a company, let's take it away from Google, let's make this a little more draconian. Let's say a pharmaceutical company is making a product that's killing people, okay? Under the system now, if you're a lawyer and you want to warn the public, don't use this damn stuff, it'll kill you, and you want to talk about it in the media, these federal judges have grown up believing we can't do that. You have human life at risk, and we can't talk about the fact this corporation is making a product that's killing people. It's gag orders, it's just the whole policy of these judges is so archaic, and it's so wrong-minded, and people are dying because of it. In this situation, nobody died, but the judge was simply saying, listen, this is an ever-present danger to the whole monopoly process of the tech industry. He was calling it back then. He said, if you let them do this, everybody else is going to do it too, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, and just to kind of hammer your point home about, lawyers not being allowed to talk about cases, you and I both a couple years ago were warned
yeah.
by a judge because the other side complained. We had done a segment on them.
Yeah.
They ran crying to the judge and said, "Judge, this is not fair. Look what they're doing."
I got pulled into court about it.
Right. And then a few weeks after that happened, those same defendants were allowed to publish an op-ed in the Washington Post
Yes.
defending their product.
Yes.
And I don't even know if we're still not allowed to talk about the issue.
No. I'm gonna talk. I went after the Sacklers. I went after the Sacklers. I shed a light on the fact of the criminality of those people with the Purdue company. And I said, this is what's happened. Well, I probably went a little far. I might have gone farther than that and called them something. But I got pulled into court and chastised about it. But here's the point. We got to get away from that.
Yeah.
This judge that got reversed on the Microsoft case, it would have been critical to where we were with Google.
Yeah.
Had that appellate court just let him do what he wanted to do, and that's break the son of a bitches up and make them comply with the rest of the world where it comes to monopoly, right?
Yeah, and then a later judge came along and said, okay, well, yeah, you're a monopoly. Pay us a small
Pay us
fine,
money.
and then we're good.
It's all about fines.
The DOJ gets that money. People need to know that. That becomes
the
their play money.
Right. The DOJ doesn't put people in prison anymore. Hell, they just fine them. I don't care how bad the conduct is.